want to say it looks like the sky is on fire because sometimes it is, but not this time. This is Lewis County, Washington, just north of Portland, Oregon. It's a great sunset on Monday of this week, and we have had some very warm weather out there, folks. Look at the observed highs on Tuesday. Wasn't quite as warm as it was on Monday, but still got to 85 in Portland, 88 in Medford. Seattle failed to hit 80 degrees for the first time in 5 days. But you may get there again tomorrow up there in the Emerald City, as this spring heat wave is continuing here, folks. Some of us have been kept cool with some clouds and rain, but those that have stayed sunny have been pretty hot. Record highs will continue to be challenged in some areas, and that fire risk is still with us here, folks, as we head through this week. Now, remember that some areas are getting some rain, even some thunderstorms with gusty winds. Flash flooding has been an issue, too, in the portions of Washington, actually not too far from Lewis County. We had a couple of flash flood warnings there, and also into northern Washington outside of Mount Baker. So a lot of instability with a very warm surface. The air rises and causes showers and thunderstorms to cool off some of us during this spring heat wave. And some of the storms have been severe. We've had wind greater than 60 miles an hour up there in northern Idaho. Also near Boise, they've had wind and hail. So a little bit more than you would want in a thunderstorm, put it that way. Now, as far as your Wednesday weather, we are still very warm. Probably no records here for the big cities, but still definitely well above your historical averages. There still will be some thunderstorm activity around the Washington Cascades and also into the northern Rockies and out onto the plains on Wednesday. Temperature-wise, you'll probably get back to the 80s in Seattle, which I believe would be the 5th day this month you've seen 80s. The all-time record is 7 such days, so you're going to come close to breaking that record. 89 in Portland, another pretty warm day for you on Wednesday, and even into Spokane, rather mild at 77, but you still could see a thunderstorm to cool you off. Your Thursday weather shows the heat will be expanding into the interior northwest. There will be some pockets of thunderstorms across not just the interior northwest, but also just outside of Seattle. Friday, mostly dry and mostly warm. Now, we will start to see a cooling trend later this week from the coast to the I-5, and you'll really be feeling that into the weekend as unseasonably warm air is going to be widespread from the Great Basin all the way up to the U.S.-Canadian border. From Friday to Sunday, as that heat shifts, many of us will still be 10 to 20 degrees above your historical averages, and there still will be the chance for some afternoon thunderstorms, and the fire risk, of course, will also be with us as well. But here's the cool down coming for Seattle. You're looking at to be in the 80s for the next couple of days, which is about 15 degrees above average, and then we gradually get back to normal by the time we get to the end of the weekend.
Anyone who's ever sold a home can tell you it is really hard, and it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. That's why who you work with matters. Together with HomeLight, we take care of every detail, from staging to showing to negotiating to closing. We've helped thousands of people sell faster and for the best price. It's a win-win.
I'm a pet person just like you. If my pet ever got hurt or sick, it would just break my heart and cost me the bank. So I got a pet insurance plan from Pumpkin. Bad things happen to good pets all the time. Pet insurance from Pumpkin. Get it before you need it.
Every detail counts. That's why I live my life with Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose, providing quality, cutting-edge tech, and performance. When I began experiencing hearing loss, I knew I needed the best of the best. Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose are app-controlled and self-fitting, which means I can tune and customize them to my needs and preferences on the Lexi app and enjoy high-quality hearing. No appointment necessary. From ordering my first pair online to front door delivery and a secure, discreet fit, Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose offer quality, convenience, and exceptional customer support at every step in my journey. If you're ready to elevate to the next level with world-class hearing, take the lead. Order online at lexihearing.com to receive your Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose today.
Call 800-936-8167 today to find out how you can get your Lexis at 80% less than prescription hearing aid prices.
telling you what, New Mexico can be so beautiful. Look at this little mountain range here south of Albuquerque, Ruidoso. They had some wildfire problems last year, and that's often the case, but look how gorgeous this lake is. It's just a beautiful day. We have had those clouds rolling by with thunderstorms, though, and take a look at it. Between Albuquerque and El Paso, yeah, and Lubbock, yeah, we get some thunderstorms out there into the southwestern plains, and also down here between Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, some big cities getting some big storms. There has been some flash flooding in and around the Houston area, so if you're traveling in these zones, just be extra careful for water over the roads. We do have some flood warnings across southeast Texas and up into southern Arkansas as well. Always be extra careful when you're driving over areas that could be flooded. Now, your Tuesday night weather, we've got some thunderstorms out there in El Paso and up through New Mexico. Much of Texas will be dry tonight unless you head closer down to the coast. There are some thunderstorms there also in the South Texas and the lower Mississippi Valley. Now, as far as the high plains here of Kansas, Colorado, we do have some thunderstorms that are popping near Goodland, Kansas, east of Denver and Colorado Springs. This activity here is not just going to happen tonight. It's going to happen again tomorrow at about the same time. And you see some of these warnings here. They're for large hail and damaging winds, so something to keep in mind. Now, here is your Wednesday weather. Looking good in Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Wichita. Another stormy day for New Mexico and Colorado, and also the Gulf Coast states of Louisiana eastward. But yeah, Wednesday's looking good in Dallas. It's going to be the pick day of the week. Austin looks good too. Now, as far as severe weather, yes, Wednesday will bring that same threat you're getting right now between Denver and, say, Dalhart, Texas, down here, Pueblo, Colorado. That's going to be a zone where large hail, flooding downpours, and damaging wind gusts. That zone is expected to develop in the afternoon on Wednesday and spill its way eastward onto the plains into the evening hours. During the day Wednesday, temperature-wise, we're pretty comfortable. Most of us are in the 80s. There are some 70s too. Oklahoma City, what a great day you're going to have on Wednesday. 78 degrees and sunny skies. Stormy in New Mexico, also stormy here on Wednesday across the lower Mississippi Valley and the Texas coast, just like it has been recently. Now, your Thursday weather shows a nice little warm-up for us for the eastern half of Texas, staying stormy out in the southwestern plains, where, again, you do need the rain. There's a drought going on for much of the western half of Texas, so that would be beneficial. And as we look back off toward the southeastern U.S., there'll be some thunderstorms around New Orleans to Pensacola as we head into Thursday. Let's look at your Friday weather. Here comes a cold front. Behind it, it's absolutely gorgeous into Kansas and into Nebraska. But along this advancing front, this time of year, you're going to get thunderstorms. Dallas up to, say, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Some of those storms here on Friday could actually be strong to severe. So that's a wrench in the works that we don't really want to be there. Friday's a big travel day. People are heading home from work and maybe they're going to do something fun for the weekend. Well, here's your severe weather outlook for Friday afternoon into Friday night. It runs from Texas, including Dallas, San Angelo, all the way up to Little Rock and Paducah, Kentucky, southern Missouri. It's going to get hit again, it looks like, Friday with another round of heavy rain, thunderstorms that could bring some damaging winds. Now, it's going to be a wet pattern continuing for the western and southern parts of Texas as we head through the next few days. As we mentioned, it's been kind of stormy in places like New Mexico, Colorado, and into Arizona and Utah. And that pattern will remain. It's kind of a mini monsoon here with a stalled upper low over the far southwestern U.S. is bringing in the moist air and definitely increasing those humidity levels and chances for storms. Speaking of storms, we had some of those in Tennessee on this Tuesday. Look at these storm clouds. I'm getting dizzy. But yeah, those are some pretty threatening clouds right there in Churchill, and we actually had a lot of thunderstorms. Places like Mississippi, Alabama. We got some video from Mississippi of some rain here, and I think some hail is mixing in here too. You can probably hear it bouncing off the deck there. Look at it. Got a nice backyard. Let's talk about the forecast here, folks, because these storm reports you see right here, a lot of these are in similar areas that got hit a day ago. Places like Kentucky, Tennessee, and into Alabama, in Texas. There were a lot of wind and hail reports. There was one hail report in Kentucky of a town called Raccoon. Is that a cool name for a Kentucky town? Raccoon, Kentucky. They had ping pong-sized ball. Ping pong-sized hail. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. You know what ping pong. The last 3 hours, we've got thunderstorms out there between Richmond, Virginia, and North Carolina. Many of them have had warnings with them for large hail greater than 1 inch in diameter, gusty winds over 60 miles an hour. This is a zone here from Virginia, North Carolina, into North Georgia, eastern Tennessee. You don't want to be traveling around there for the rest of this Tuesday evening because that's the severe weather outlook. Some to moderate risk for flash flooding, large hail, Richmond, Virginia, Raleigh, and Charlotte, North Carolina, even down to Atlanta, Georgia, as we head closer to the midnight hour here, folks. There's some pretty stormy weather out there. Now, the excessive rainfall outlook, we've been seeing this a lot this week. Boy, we've had a lot of flooding across the U.S., and tonight is no exception. Through your Tuesday night, from Asheville, North Carolina, Johnson City, Tennessee, right up toward, Richmond, Virginia. We're going to have elevated risk for water over the roads, and also all the way down to the Gulf Coast and into Texas as well. Now, looking at Wednesday's weather, you're going to dry out in Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina and Virginia. States that are getting hit hard today with thunderstorms will have a very nice Wednesday. But this advancing front is a slow mover, so you'll get storming in Georgia, South Carolina, and westward toward those Gulf Coast states, and also the east coast of Florida for your Wednesday. Temperature-wise, not too hot in Atlanta, only 78 degrees with some thunderstorms. Down to New Orleans, again, the heat is suppressed because of the increased clouds and rain chances. Jacksonville close to 90, and you'll see a thunderstorm there. Houston, more storms as well on Wednesday. Here's your Thursday weather. Very warm across the lower Mississippi Valley, East Texas. But that advancing front is still getting you wet here across much of Georgia, North Florida now, and toward the central Gulf Coast as you have a very warm Thursday planned in central and south Florida. Friday, pleasant weather. You always like to hear that. Across much of the Carolinas and even into Atlanta, but that pesky front doesn't seem to want to go away, so you'll still stay stormy on Friday across portions of Alabama, South Georgia, and the Florida East Coast.
Here's an important